All right, Mountaintop Kids Ministries, we're going into week 2 of our series on Easter story. So this week is kind of a little bit more of a serious story. This is where we're going to hear about the trial and the betrayal that happens with Jesus. So throughout the room, you have found 3 eggs that kind of give us a little bit of a hint as to what our stories are going to be about today. So the first one that you found is a picture of someone praying. The second one that you found is a whip, which is, we found a stick for that. And then the third one is a rooster. So each of these things, like we talked about in our first video, has significance or importance for our Bible verses this week. So let's head into those Bible verses. So the first one that we're going to talk about kind of connects with our first thing that we found. So that's the picture of someone praying. Goes along with Mark 14:32 through 42. And this is kind of where Jesus goes to Mount Olives to pray. And he comes back and he says to Simon Peter, are you asleep? Couldn't you keep watch for 1 hour? And he says, watch and pray so that you will not fall into temptation. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. Once more, he went away and prayed the same thing. When he came back, he again found him sleeping because their eyes were heavy. They did not know what to say to him. Returning the third time, he said to them, are you still sleeping and resting? Enough, the hour has come. Look, my Son of Man is delivered into the hands of the sinners. Rise, let us go, and here comes my betrayer. So this kind of goes along with the picture of, like we said, someone praying, because Jesus goes to Mount Olives to pray before he ultimately is taken into custody and arrested for claiming he is the king of the Jews. So the next Bible verse that we're going to talk about correlates with the whip, and this is Luke 22:63 through 65. And this says, the men who were guarding Jesus began to mock and beat him. They blindfolded him and demanded, prophecy, who hit you? And they said many other insulting things to him. So this Bible verse kind of goes along with the whip, because that's ultimately what they were doing once they had Jesus in custody. See, Jesus was beat really bad before he was even put on the cross. So it's kind of sad that they tried to mock him because he was this all-knowing person. He was the king of the Jews. And so they were like, you're blindfolded. Who's hitting you? Let's tell me. And it's kind of sad because they were bullying him. And so the next one that we're going to talk about is the rooster. And this goes along with Matthew 26:69 through 75. And this goes, now Peter was sitting out in the courtyard, and a servant girl came to him. Also, you were with Jesus of Galilee, she said, but he denied it before them all. I don't know what you're talking about, he said. Then he went out into the gateway where another servant girl saw him and said to the people there, this fellow was with Jesus of Nazareth. He denied it again with an oath, I don't know that man. After a little while, those standing there went up to Peter and said, surely you are one of them. Your accent gives you away. Then he began to call down curses and swore to them, I don't know this man. Immediately a rooster crowed. Then Peter remembered the words of Jesus had spoken, and before the rooster crows, you will disown me 3 times. And he went outside and wept bitterly. So this kind of correlates with the story that we talked about last week. And that is in that Bible verse that you guys talked about, the last one. And it's how Jesus said that one of you is going to deny me 3 times, and that's going to be you, Simon Peter. And he goes, no, I would never deny you, Jesus. I would never do that. And unfortunately, that's exactly what he did. And so we can see at the end of this verse that he says he went outside and wept bitterly because he knew what he had done. And so that kind of takes us into our today's truth today, which is, I am not scared to follow Jesus. See, sometimes we can find ourselves ending up like Simon Peter, where we deny Jesus because we don't want to get in trouble as well. But ultimately, we want to be proud that we follow Jesus, not the other way around, not like Simon Peter. So as you are going into this next moment of your reflection time, there is something a little bit different that I want you to do. So there's some questions that I have for you guys to reflect on, and they are, how can you not make the same mistake as Peter? Do you feel comfortable talking to people about Jesus? So take a couple moments in your small group and just go ahead and kind of answer those questions and then have a discussion. So that's it for this week, and I'll come back to you with our week 3. See you later.